truly matters 10 times more. I mean, not even 10 times. You can't quantify how much more it means to actually get to that major.
Yeah. You know, the cool part is, though, teams at this level are used to grinding a lot more. So even though it is brutal to play 2 best-of-3s, like, you have to understand it's not just you show up and you frag. You have to be focused for every single round, and you can lose to the team who's more focused than you. So they definitely expelled a lot of energy in that last series. Of course, they had the full hour break coming into this, but they're also used to on the come up, trying to be way better than they are currently, right? They aren't resting on their laurels. They're not #1 team in the world that can just coast and fly to a LAN and play that and probably win versus some teams. They have to play and practice every single day really hard. So they're ready for this, and we'll see if they can actually bring it to paiN, because, again, it seems like off the veto, what we know from these two teams, it's either 2-0 paiN or 2-1 NEKIZ.
We'll see how it all unfolds. It begins with a Rocks entry towards the B site. biguzera, very good job at just stopping what looked like a paiN train into the B site. Immediate rotate as well from Nithon. They're just going to be facing these windows. The Van player tries to get back into this engagement, and for as quick as those initial 2 kills come through, there's then this kind of lapse in impact from everyone. But it's not as though NEKIZ have gone all the way back into apartments and hid. They are still right there, right on the windowsills themselves. Finally disengaging from this, and as they should. We had 3 of the 4 remaining players from paiN still stacked up on that B site.
Yeah, that was a little bit awkward when you have to cancel a rush like that, but getting away with 3 is not so bad, especially when you have so much health left over and still a full minute. But now the natural rotations will come back from the CT side, and they'll look to cut off the next potential threat, which is the A site. This is a very key outpost position for Max. If he can afford to stay here, then they have a way to plant as long as they're covering Cat. The dangerous part here is just not getting shot by the CT guy, getting across the triple. So now you can put the bomb down safely. It's really hard for the pistols to do anything about this, but they will actually push in a little bit. And with that, they get info on all 3.
DGT jumps up on triple. CT start to flood outwards. He loses Max close to him. And that Glock's not good for... Oh,
Jesus.
Not nearly enough. hardzao, double downs, 2 clean USPs. paiN with the retake pistol win.
Yeah, that was very nice to just take that small peek, right? The bomb gets planted. That's such an understood position from both sides. And the one small edge that paiN got was that guy from CT spawn just went to double check. Who's covering the bomb plant? And can I see both? And he actually does see the one in connector, which sets up this shot from hardzao and the player in the back. And that's just enough stress for NEKIZ to crumble.
Back to the B site yet again. Not spotted this time. And enough pieces of utility to make things awkward for hardzao. biguzera. Ooh, shot's gonna get away from him, and that opened the door for Max to push up close. He saw the rotate through the market, and if they can kill hardzao, then they know it's just the player nearby. All 3!
Wow.
NEKIZ, they just eviscerate the bomb site. They find all the kills as that pandemonium sinking in. PGL and NEKIZ, they could still make this happen. 31 health between Max and David. Oh, but with DGT hitting that headshot, this one's over. PGL, that M4 is going to be way too valuable. The 9C burst on that B site.
That's a real failure of a hold, isn't it? Can't miss that many bullets, especially when you have a silenced M4. On the upside, you get a little bit more accuracy, and probably can mow down a couple of pistols guaranteed. In this situation, he shot nearly half his mag on that first guy, and then was just stuck out in the open. And of course, the key part to the B holds is literally stopping them as they're coming out of the window. You don't want to let them escape, because then they can spread out, and then it's way harder to aim at them. So from that point on, I think he knew he was in jeopardy, and the rotations were nearly there, but they also did have a market window smoke on this exec as an extra layer of insurance. So really well done here from NEKIZ. They'll take that every day of the week.
No easy round wins thus far.
Wow, the odds are very close. Slight favor towards paiN. I think that's very fair.
Two map wins away. 2 map wins away from a major.
Yeah.
And that's an experience that paiN have already kind of gone through. They've experienced those emotions.
Yeah.
They've participated in the event. And for them to get to do it again would really just start to solidify, I don't want to use the word legacy, but like their careers, let's put it, right? As challengers from this region. NEKIZ, they want a taste of that. They want to know what it's like. hardzao, 5-7 damage, no 5-7 kill, and no CT nearby. Very similar to the previous round. Up close, again, market smoke, denying any lines of vision from the rotators, but there are none there whatsoever.
Yeah, they've clearly got a prerogative here with the B site hits coming in over and over again. And we can see that paiN were set up to deal with any kind of cat split that would come down, double up in window, 2 players still on the A site. So there might have been a bit more tenuous if they tried that route. So very smart actually to trim the fat, just go for the full exec, and anything can work. Ending B is really good on anti. It goes too hard to retake, really hard to hold in the first place. So why not? NEKIZ 2-1 now, and the guns will be saved at least, like Nithon's M4 carried forward. He will be looking to have an op, and Mirage is of course a map where 2 ops might come out for the CT side at one point in the half or another.
I got a side question.
Oh, cool.
How do you feel about the AUG?
It's the best gun in the game.
The best gun in the game?
I think so.
Okay. Better than the AWP?
Better than the op. Because it has to be pound for pound, right?
Sure.
If we're going to talk best and best, because you can say, I'd say value for the money.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Assuming you can use it.
That's the thing, though.
That's the
Such
hard
an
part.
easy spray.
Yeah.
Such
Well,
a, like, it's just straight down, right?
Let's see
That's part of it. Like the Krieg, for example, it's that weird 7 spray. It's
Yeah.
actually kind of wild.
We got an AUG in the hands of the T side.
That's money.
A1S as well for DGT, so some of that economy from paiN offered back to NEKIZ. Happily, they will hold it. Volley of utility. T's smoke out the window, CT's smoke out connectors, so they kind of cancel one another out, and that's going to allow for Nithon to just keep posturing up close.
Yeah, it looks like they're flirting with the idea of, like trying to find a CT, but at the same time, you can tell they're leaning slightly towards B at this moment. So, oh, that's a big gap, Max. Doesn't wait for that smoke to come up, and they lose a player in the process. Still a huge advantage, and they have picked a correct site once again. So Nithon will try to make his way in, and hey, he's got the one good gun of the round.
Timing's there. Oh, that's clean!
Wow. Now they're scared a bit, and they start to walk up into connector.
Which is where the pistols were stacked, but they also started to move and scramble towards the B side. Still, 3 of them are here. We've got biguzera with the deagle inside of Sandwich. He's gonna make his play, swings out slightly, turned on by David. That AUG tears out 2, but NEKIZ, oh, they go past. And they don't seem to expect this whatsoever. The bomb plant's gonna be right ahead of him. All he has to do is cancel that. Weapons being swapped, DGT's damaged, and they'll take the victory.
Oh, he didn't have an extra player.
It was there.
He had to fight it. Honestly, could have waited a little bit longer, but at the same time, still had to kill both. I mean, there was basically no way to get away with not taking both of those players down. So, close call. Nice try.
Nithon, so fast.
Amazing. Yeah, with that M4, and we'll see him pick up the op as well. And he's the guy who's replacing Safe, who
big shoes.
A lot of people thought would be really hard to replace, and maybe it was, but they've done some great scouting. They've really integrated him into the team perfectly, and he looks like he's been playing with the team for well over 6 months at this point, which actually might not be far from the truth. I'm not sure how long Safe at this point has been on Furia, or when they found Nithon, but either way.
Long enough for them to lock in a major spot.
True.
And a legend spot. biguzera drops smoke in front of him, but the fire on his feet, that's going to cost him. Oh, if only those smokes and Molotovs had crossed paths, then maybe he'd still be standing. But the frag was good, the pressure was there. NEKIZ, an affinity for this B site and gun rounds?
Yeah, the game plan is very clear at this point. So the great part about this is if you are constantly copying and pasting the same strat, if this, the next time they play against each other, paiN are not going to let this happen. But for the time being, they won't have to look back at Mirage when it's over. So they got away already with 4 rounds doing this, and they haven't worked anything else. So there are huge options open for the rest of this half. This is a very strugglesome point to be at for paiN, because you don't want to keep betting on black and assume that they're going to go B again. But at the same time, they haven't really lost trying it. So you have to be able to be ready for that hit. So all the power right now is in NEKIZ's hands. The game plan has been perfect. The execution has been fantastic behind it. And they've done as much as to literally overcome the better guns in the B side on the second round. So even when there was a significant rifle advantage, they still were able to take it on these simple attacks. What a position for NEKIZ to find themselves in.
Excellent
I
start.
didn't expect this at all.
No?
Definitely thought that paiN would have an edge. It would look slightly better in all these rounds. And NEKIZ would have to work very hard to get close. But right now it looks very one-sided, which is pretty impressive.
For the first 5, NEKIZ's name's on them. AKA1S, what's your favorite 2-rifle CT setup? A round like this, Launder still, he's got 5 seconds to call. What's he say?
2-rifle CT setup?
Yeah, this round right here.
Oh, I would still play sights. I don't actually think you need to do anything too aggressive in this situation, just because you still have some sets of armor. So, all right, they're stacked up in window. They're going to boost into Cat and just chill. That's one of the rifles in a really good spot.
The other over towards Ticket.
Yeah, so it's relatively vanilla, but they put at least one rifle in a strong position. It's not aggressive, but it has so much utility, right? You can hold under window. You can actually drop out on the bricks, watch the back of connector. You can hold the Cat, and you hear everything under pass. You hear everything under window. You hear everything on Cat. Any utility that comes out, you get some early warning signs, and you get a roof over your head, so you don't actually have to worry about getting flashed as much.
See if that flex spot comes into play. Take to the bottom of middle. Nithon just staring at his shoes. Oh, rocks. Makes sure to clears it. NEKIZ drops out of his position. Just trying to pinch with these 2 rifles. The player top mid's not watching this. Oh, NEKIZ perfectly timed. Great damage, 2 kills. Top mid.
Wait.
Top mid still hasn't moved. Finally, Lucan's going to come and activate, but that could still prime the other rifle. No, PKL's gone down. The pistol, is it enough? Just the sidearm for biguzera. Max's attention peeled between 2 sides, and he shuts down hardzao's peak. biguzera back towards mid.
Ooh.
That's where Lucan body bags him, and a 5th for NEKIZ. That could have been problematic.
Very strange window there where Lucan was set in a position specifically to watch that. I mean, that was his only job. That smoke came up in window, a rifler jumps out and makes a ton of noise behind him. Don't know why I didn't hear that and why I didn't clear it. They definitely could have won a bit more decisively, but I will say timings are solid. They get up connector as that window smoke is coming up exactly then. And Lucan, if he was not sleeping at the wheel, he would have just instantly saw somebody trying to flank connector, and that would have been over in a flash. So overall, really like what we're seeing from NEKIZ once again. And this time they work mid towards A, showing off their range a little bit. And not too much still. I mean, it's just come back to a lot of mid control, a lot of rounds where they end in B. They seem to only go A if it's an emergency, apart from that last round. See the heavy lead once again. And paiN are not taking advantage of all the empty map control that's here. It's easy for us to say, but oh my god.
Shot. Luckily PKL's there to recover, but even his position gets traded out immediately. David dinked, not dead.
That's a nasty shot from Max. He almost could have escaped if it wasn't an instant first bullet headshot.
What's hardzao have to offer? Rotator already coming outwards. Wastes 0 time. Just coming right to the doorway. Rocky tries to follow, but because biguzera's on the market, it's a solid hold. Meanwhile, NEKIZ shuts down the play towards mid. It's DGT and Lucan inside sight. There's the first and second. Big moment from DGT. And that's a bomb plant right back with the man disadvantage into the 2v1. And DGT, longest standing player of NEKIZ. You know, watched his Opper and Try get plucked back by 00 Nation. His in-game leader in Bit departs to MIBR. And now here he is, performing when it matters, but he does get hit by the side. And now NEKIZ just needs to find this last player. What if Lucan misses a shot? What if he gives a chance to the automatic rifle?
No, this is free. This is free. Yeah, he's such a good position, actually. Even not stuck behind the bench, but to the right as well, which allows you to get back behind empty pillar. And he knows that NEKIZ is going to think about Van, Halls, the push into market. That might be the last spot that he tries to clear. So yeah, unless Lucan was, I guess, like he was on the top of mid, just a little bit unaware, then that would have been an issue. But wasn't the case right now. Some nice trades, and this is a DGT, as you highlighted. His 2 kills are what swings the momentum back in the favor of NEKIZ in this disadvantaged situation. But just bomb plants on bomb plants, successful B hits over and over again.
Phenomenal T side so far.
Yeah, it feels like things are getting slightly more complicated and still look just as stable. We've seen pretty much all but one mistake so far from NEKIZ where Max died to the window guy trying to cross Cat. Apart from that, the default has been on point.
Stacking these layers on top of each other, but still just in full control. Now another favored round. We've got a boosted player inside B site.
So this should kind of exemplify why stacking B doesn't even always work, because yes, they are here, but you have to be, you have to be really, really poor about your awareness to not clear all these angles. The guy within the site might be able to get 1 kill. Van gets spotted, he gets traded, and now Nithon has.
That's one. Like you said.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. You need your other teammates to get kills, then you can actually win from there. But apart from that,
you a big fan of that site boost?
It definitely. I think it shows how few spots there are to play that it is warranted if you have extra people on the site. But if you put one behind bench, one on fence, one on get right, and then all these different spots, they can all just get isolated so easily. Cat guy, the mollies, just to jump out of the window to clear both things. So I think it is important to try to use ninja spots, especially if they're running into your stack. Then maybe for a second they forget about you. But ultimately, again, this is why a lot of anti-ecos in CSGO NP, because it's just kind of crummy to sit on and hold. Now, on the pistoling rounds, how they could have reinforced was having something on Cat, because if they shut down the Cat portion of the split, which one side's always going to be weaker, right? There's 5 players, so it's either 2 Cat or 1 Cat and 4 or 3 up in the palace or in the B apartments. You kill the Cat guy, then things get very interesting.
We have seen that, right? NEKIZ throwing that 1 rifle in there when they had 2 rifle rounds. Looked like a super powerful position. But then that's one of those moments, one of the very few occurrences where NEKIZ actually head to A. So I'm keeping my eyes on Catwalk. I do feel like these B splits have been, enabled by some pretty solid mid play from NEKIZ. Whether that gets turned upside down, facilitates the B hold, we'll see. Right now it's just 1 player apartments. Initial mid stack. Held for the potential of pressure, but nothing so far. CT side just going to keep that 3A lean and wait.
Incredibly vanilla here from paiN right now. I mean, even with the amount of rounds that we've seen, if you look at a heat map of this, you see lots of mid control, lots of B ends. But on the A side, there's no deep ramp control, never pushed into Palace a single time. If they had done this a number of times, they would have just been able to have free roam. Rotators could have come out to help the B players if they needed it, because that's where their weaknesses are. But in this situation, now we fast forward 8 rounds, and NEKIZ are starting to play Palace, and now it gets even harder potentially for the A guys who feel like they missed their opportunity to get space.
Hefty nade damage. David dropped to 60. DGT's Palace timing could be everything, because you can see that NEKIZ, his attention keeps turning towards ramp, and Nithon's taking an angle that's going to be so exposed to Palace, so that smoke goes down. Oh, and Nithon finds his kill. That's Max removed. Finish off. DGT, his Molotov lands right on top of NEKIZ. That's perfect for Rocks to trade that. That's so isolating. But then the jungle peek, big moves from PKL, can't manage to get a second kill. 15 seconds, op shot misses on the box bang. Nithon looking for another. David goes for the fight, and then DGT activates, dropping both players off CT.
Come on.
No clutch, no kills. The CTs in the 3v3 go down 3-0.
David just, with the bomb on his back, with 10 seconds after crossing,
pulls his sleeves up and starts throwing.
Oh, I didn't know you were over here. Let's fight.
That Molotov was so good.
He literally could have planted and instead swung on CT spawn. And his teammate behind him on triple did with it. Zach, no reaction.
Just a sly little smile.
Yeah, Zach actually, former coach of Immortals. He's been bouncing around. And he's been coaching NEKIZ for actually a long time at this point. So I'm not surprised that they have some really good, solid structure with a guy like Zach. Super smart, super chill. coach for this team. You know, David definitely could have died there. I mean, he could have just got opt. I will say it seems so crazy that he went for that peak, so that in and of itself is why the offer might not have been ready. But hey, at this point, it feels like they just can't do anything wrong. They are brimming with confidence. Trades look extraordinary. Buy save situation. paiN have only won a pistol in this match so far.
8 in a row. $749 days, in fact. Zach has been coaching for NEKIZ. Slightly over 2 years.
It's good.
And that means
good sign.
That means he's been their coach throughout, you know, the biggest like stages we've seen NEKIZ on, the blast showdowns back to back.
Yes.
So he was there with them this entire time. Means he also worked with Tri and the previous in-game leader. Now, David and Lucan are very susceptible to just getting iced out by a pistol kill.
Good mollies this round.
Nython tucks behind Ticket. But as he goes for the peek, David gives great cover.
I got like 8 dudes covering that.
Yeah. The CT push, though,
Smoke.
gives away a gun. Now 2 rifles and the aforementioned tagged players, but
No kit.
yeah, no kit, and biguzera's on the other side of the map. So it looks like NEKIZ are going to do it. A 9th consecutive terrorist round win.
Can say as well, yeah, great mollies, first of all, from Palace. Even though his vision was completely obscured by the smoke that landed, he landed the stairs molly to make sure no peek came down there. And they were very careful not to waste anything. Second molly and CT spawn, and yeah, covered all these different potential options. I mean, there were lots of prying eyes from the CT side. None of them actually got an opportunity. Don't know how to put this, but paiN have to try something new. And I think that it's probably worrisome for them that NEKIZ are moving at quite a tempo. Like, they're not waiting so long, so if paiN go and take a ramp control or work on a very long flank, it might be a little late. So I think they also need to bring that CT aggression in quite quickly. I mean, if they could rely on the B hold, it'd be no problem. But right now, they're getting outgunned. Entries are too strong.
Here we go. Come on. Nython versus Lucan. Op v op.
Ain't no way he's going into that.
He knows better. So the riflers will take ahead of the op. Bomb included. First one falls. No contest. We do have a terrorist in ladder room. And even he has support from David at the bottom of mid.
Okay, Palace control here for paiN, so they're feeling quite good, actually. And anything that ends towards A won't be too terrifying for them.
Max versus biguzera. This could be a very crucial kill for mid control. Cracks open jungle. Suddenly A site looks that much weaker. And like you said, right, A is kind of the target when NEKIZ are in trouble. When they need a solution to the problem. Oh, but the vents. Awkward. Player on the stairs also able to lock this down. A very convincing hold here from paiN so far. 3 kills, no deaths. 35 seconds left. Bomb jumping through window. How does it get back into the equation here? A kill versus biguzera is great, but it also comes with a dink. So DGT, very much damaged.
I like that NEKIZ. We're still trying their hardest there in those few moments. They got into all these different positions with that required a few small risks, but then they didn't overextend. Waited for kind of a nice raw duel between cat and window room, and that could have been the equalizing one. I think that was the right risk to take. It doesn't work out today, and we can also say that from paiN's perspective, they get in the Palace. They're a bit more comfortable here on CT side, and they go just aggressive enough in the B halls to not get opt and lose the round in a new way, but instead get a kill off the back of some good patience.
Playing both extremities of the map.
It is definitely ideas that are holding paiN back, of course. We know they have the individual skill to stand up to NEKIZ, but they're falling behind on the concepts and ideas at the moment. I think on a round like this, 9Z, I kind of reestablish. I could go, you could go into a full A exec, honestly, but I would either go between that or just establishing on mid in a default once again, just to let paiN know. No snowballing for you, no free round. Aggressive mid control will get destroyed. We will win the first 40 seconds of the round, which are slightly T-favored anyways, and then we'll go from there and we'll try again, and we'll show you that, your default, yeah, you made some improvements, but it won't be good enough.
A turning point here in round number 12. It's either paiN's resurgence in this CT side.
Oh, that's a great nade.
Yes, it is. Even on the fallback, biguzera loses a quarter of his health. So there will be no full-blown A exec, but we do have 2 players chilling outside of it. We saw that Palace presence from paiN last round. It's not there this time. NEKIZ instead just plays the exit.
This is really cool because it looks like now they're going to end A. Even though the bomb's over on this side of the map, they're holding for these pushes. But biguzera is the one with the op.
DGT walking into the scope.
Max has the bomb, so I think he would love to be able to show it, but he also has to try to do it without getting opt.
Right. If he had been there right with that first contact, maybe they
go back now to him.
We'll see. Smokes over top. Trying to move Lucan into the B apartments. Rock's looking to maybe sell this fake. He's got David with him as well, but nobody cleared above. Oh! That could have been big. Instead, hardzao finds that contact versus the bomb. So they've shown the bomb, but they've also shown their hand. And a leg shot from Lucan, just a stroke of bad luck. He could peek into catwalk, but that's held by the counter off, and he's not even going to get out to the van. Here comes David, able to find something. Better than nothing, but it is in fact paiN with their 3rd round win. And again, crucial kills coming in from this B apartment setup. 2 rounds back to back.
Yeah, different opper this time, up in the same position as Nython was. Found an easy op kill, and yeah, gave a lot of confidence to his team. Now, 9Z tried to turn that up a little bit, and it's unclear if they decided to go off the original game plan in that round after they lost their first kill, because it was hard to tell, even with all that map information, whether or not they were going to end A or just throw the fake on A. But it wasn't as clean as they like, and their entry out of A actually was almost gifted a kill. We needed something like that to come through for 9Z to have any chance of scaring the CT rotations. And here it is, the full A with the smokes.
Counter utility thrown immediately. Molotovs all over the place, and NEKIZ with just a bit of an angle over gets tagged. That forces him to fall off the spot. Everybody from 9Z just trying to flood into this bomb site, get that plant while the smokes are still in position. Good damage, but it's still hardzao to survive that. 5 health. Very close to dying. DGT doubles back from Palace. This is going to be a very strong ramp post plant. They swap out Lucan, so trying to throw the AWP player instead. We get this by either shuffling of weapons or shuffling of positions from both sides before the retake really gets going. But the bomb's well beyond that halfway point, and Rox dies immediately. They think maybe there's a second and sandwich. Not the case. Max exits, and he has just a little bit of an edge. With that mid control, this could be huge. Max catching them off guard, but 3 immediate kills. paiN, flawless.
Damn, they've come alive. Those are some excellent retake nades and some great fragging as well. Small thing for 9Z in that position. They were readying a flash for CT spawn, and their player jumped up into CT spawn to take that fight early. He was kind of like transposing through that smoke, and if he had waited an extra moment with that flash, there would have been 2 CTs blind, maybe a 2K with CT controlled, and that would have stopped the retake before it even started. But they maybe got a little bit antsy, even though they had that kind of big adjustment to go through mid control with 1 A player.
Fast one. All right, little change of tempo here. Already at the top of connector. Nython doesn't feel comfortable enough to stick around, but that's jungle control.
Oh man, that's window. I don't know, is Great broken? It is. Great is open. That's a huge timing for David, and they're pressuring A. Man, they are just way farther out than paiN are actually comfortable for, but now they get the kill in window, and the lurks are getting a little bit too frisky.
Max dies before bomb can be planted. 5 versus 3 advantage for paiN on the retake. Starting to piece together a little bit of a CT side. This flash could be big. It goes in deep, they dodge it. Not a problem whatsoever. Nython now trying to clear up close, missing his shot as his teammate takes some damage, but it is a good trade in the background. Oh, Lucan! 2 kills on CT, but he knows that Opera's still there. And we have PGL coming in from jungle. It boils down to a matter of timing, and biguzera's timing's better. He peeks and sidelines Lucan for paiN's 5th CT win.
With only a P2K in his hands as well. If he had died there, Lucan V4 would have been on the menu for sure. paiN win another retake. They dealt with that really well. NEKIZ, they released the tension too early in this position. Pushing through the cat smoke was maybe overextending. They had a window player. That guy could have relaxed at the point of crossing into the jungle and spotting that no one was there. They could have punished the fact that the CTs had left window before a minute in that spot, and they had just gained so much ground and thought, why don't we take more? And they really didn't need to. So paiN will claw back another one. And it seems like now they're starting to wake up. I mean, you can see why they're here in the first place, whereas just a few rounds ago, it looked like NEKIZ are in a completely different league, which is of course not the case.
That was just that, you know, we just beat EG type confidence from NEKIZ at the start of it. Cool them off a bit. paiN, welcome to the server, but 4 in a row. This goes from like a blowout half to still a successful T-side, no doubt, no matter what. But a little nervousness for NEKIZ. Why isn't this as easy as it was?
The vibes have been put in check.
Yeah. Double op setup between biguzera and Nithon to finish off the first 15. Got NEKIZ tucked in sandwich. A execute being primed. And with so many mid players seeing that there isn't really any pressure, that fast A rotate could be in the cards. We'll see whether NEKIZ can offer us anything before his teammates come over. Big wrap back around from PGL towards Ticket. NEKIZ eats a flashbang, doesn't get checked, and that's the end of DGT. But Rox will trade it as fast as he can, and a Lucan Octool gets picked up. PGL extends out from Ticket, and David now attacking from underpass. So those flank players, those late individuals, definitely coming through from NEKIZ this time around. hardzao being given a clutch chance to close out this half, but it will be just one more. And that one more will give them 10. Double digits for the T side of NEKIZ.
Yeah, that's a nice way to wrap it up, considering how well this half had went for them from the beginning. And even in the rounds that paiN won, it had to be in situations where it was like retakes or it came down to the wire a little bit. They didn't really crush their souls on that comeback. It was still them working hard. Just looking more alive was the main takeaway, I think, for paiN in terms of their confidence. To go into half number 2, it's pretty much a brand new game, I think. NEKIZ can look back on this fondly, but ultimately they're going to have to show that they can keep up, be a two-way team as they switch to CT. And you could see that in that first half. In that second half of it, NEKIZ really didn't NB as much anymore. You know, they did evolve their game plan as much as they could, but now we find out why they had to try all those B hits. They had an idea there that worked, and to their full credit, maybe they could have worked on the other part of their game plan, but they executed the first part to perfection.
Yep. They milked it for all they could. Now it's a matter of holding off versus the offensive paiN. Max dead instantly towards mid. David also going to fall empty-handed. Lucan here on a recovery mission. Plays on Ticket as 2 Ts will cross. Can't do anything about hardzao's plant. Rox locked into the 1v1 on Catwalk will die, and Lucan is offering everything here. He actually just denied the bomb plant. Felt like he must have killed him in the final half a second. Lucan, what more do you have? He gets gushed, so it's him and DGT 2v3. Now just the clutch is on. Worried about the flank, but there's nobody there. It's just this jungle and connector support for hardzao. He'll play contact and play cover. DGT has to cross before he can get his hands back on him. hardzao knows it, loses one of his support players, and now DGT's pieced together the picture. He knows exactly where these players are, but I love that from hardzao. Don't hide too much. You know, crank the dial back up, catch him off, and give paiN number 6.
Definitely about, like, with these SA teams, I think what's actually taught North America as a region a lot is, like, where you can be aggressive. I think that's what Luminosity and the SK lineup and then all of the amazing South American players and teams that have come out of that region have shared with the world, really, is how aggressively you can play Counter-Strike. And even if it's a situation like this, it's not really macro aggression, and it's not really overt aggression. It's just a small thing that you can do. Take a peek to reclaim space, call out people every once in a while, and that's when you can really just suck the life out of your opponent. And we see this lead dissipate now. It's 6-10, and paiN have the chance to set the stage with their T-side attacks.
No playthrough connector. Utility on window. You know, this has got the makings of a B split.
I want this to be an example of why even 5 guys here, it won't be enough sometimes, but they might feel the stack. Let's see. Okay, this is a huge commitment from NEKIZ to have this back 10. All right.
Now we start to get PKL going up the stairs, pushing out onto the A site, and gathering the information in the open door. biguzera.
Everyone's getting dinged.
Yeah, that's the bomb carrier now dead. Nighthawk very locked into this. hardzao just spams through smoke, gets the Mac 10 headshot they need, but Rocks, he gives chase. Now, he doesn't know about, or now he does, the cat player. A little, you know, a little, that's how that feels.
Yeah, not enough ammo. Buff the Mac 10.
Bro, it ain't a bison.
Yeah, that's, I mean, do you think they should buff the bison?
Sure, why not?
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm all
people don't use it enough.
I am all in on this. Maybe, see, I'm all in on this idea of like making more weapons viable. Like a weapon for every situation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't break it.
The weird part is it used to be actually bought.
Yeah.
Commonly. It's just that now that everybody force buys, it's so bad versus armor.
It's so bad.
So I mean, you have 64 bullets, and you almost need all of them to kill one guy.
You know, I put it in the pile with the MP5. Lucan, good entry. Shuts down PKL. You're stuck inside of the window. The caged animal bites back and decides to stay in its cage. He's still just tucked to the right side of it all. This is a good look for NEKIZ. First rifle round of the CT side, while paiN kind of have this re-emergence into the game. Now man advantage needs to be enough.
Slow playing it with ladder. You know, I think ironically sometimes ladder can actually be really useful for the A split, even over the B split. Catching the cat guy is easier. Peeking into window to kill the A guy is really nice. But coming out of ladder to help with the split, that can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny how that works. But no matter what, if his team can get the entries, he's in a good spot. Now they're down a player, so pretty good situation for NEKIZ. Oh, but he does sneak out of ladder. NEKIZ, opportunity for him, and the flashes are beautiful.
Tries for a second. He knows, they know that there are more players here. Everything's going well for the T side. Lucan's gonna offer us something as Max gets burned forward. NEKIZ just taking everybody down with biguzera by his side. David dead. NEKIZ, big activation on the catwalk.
Yeah.
And unfortunate for the Arch player who you saw just so split between either holding the window drop or dealing with NEKIZ on the walk up. Gets blinded in the process. A layer of uncertainty.
Yeah, that spot in Get Right is not the most fabulous place to be. I think in almost all situations, it's people jumping out of the window or specifically trying to clear this. It's prone to flashes, and it's behind the wall splits or the wall smokes if there is going to be a full B attack. And for Cat, it's a nice fight. So, I mean, there with paiN, it was beautiful because they had great flashes to pair with that Cat split. And NEKIZ, you got to appreciate how fast he came out of ladder room to help with that attack.
Wasted no time.
Very easily could have come out a little bit slower. We wouldn't have batted an eyelash, but the player on Get Right wouldn't have been blind, and then they lose that trade, and things fall down because NEKIZ's rotations were super quick.
paiN can take a little bit of time here.
Yeah, they can relax. It kind of feels like they're suddenly back in the power position in just the whole map at this point. You know, T-side's gone all right so far. They've got NEKIZ in a buy save, and this lead again has all but evaporated in a matter of 15 minutes or so.
Game on.
Definitely a very fun map, though. Both teams showing a lot.
Some ferocious moments. Oh, like that. David hoping he can get a second with the deagle, but will one be enough? Oh!
Okay, DGT. Okay.
Rocks will fall empty-handed, but they don't know about Max, and he does great damage, but DGT just got his hands on the AWP. And that jump, that costs NEKIZ. Now, okay, he is low, so be it. But we've got an armored AK in a 1 versus 2 from what is one of the most impactful players of NEKIZ. And if he only knew that he had an individual fight on site right now, as PKL just hides behind Firebox, peeks out, and gets that frag. Crucial kill.
So risky from PKL there. They could have been slow to Palace. Actually, the Palace rotation in the post plant was the real smart move because, of course, the bomb's planted default. So not only that, but he was just spotted A ramp, or at least that would be called. So that would just kill time in and of itself. But then PKL peeks out early, and luckily for paiN still gets the kill. What a frag from Nython to kick things off.
Look at this. See ya.
Pure filth. One round separates paiN and NEKIZ on map 1 here.
Full-blown A exec. Molotov goes behind NEKIZ. He runs outwards super fast. Catches the guy on default. David will take him with him.
Yeah.
Not bad by David, considering the pressure that he's under in that situation. Max sees the cross of hardzao. 2 CTs to try and clear this. hardzao is going to take the fight to them, while Max, he will kill PKL. So we've got this 4v2 looking very good for NEKIZ as they just swarm the T side, stuck on this bomb site. They begin to fight right back. Nython looking towards Khan, sees the player that he needs to drop, but Lucan hits the op. And we've got NEKIZ back to winning ways. They don't lose their lead just yet.
Pretty enormous gap there on the jungle smoke. That was an issue. They missed that one. I think it was also a bit more rushed than they would like. So the idea there was just try to cheat with the baton, basically. Guys up front on the top of ramp, get ahead of the smoke, but the molly comes down really well timed. That was some good intuition from NEKIZ to feel that something could occur. And that Molotov, I think, separated the front guys from the back guys. They either had to use an extra smoke to deal with that or run through and take some damage. And the contact almost works, but David gets his, right? David almost gets caught on the side of default, but not quite, and goes 1-for-1 with the trade. So I think we've seen some very nice kind of entry work from both of these squads so far. But of course, now that paiN are on the giving end of it, it's scary for NEKIZ, but that's well handled, and they keep a meter stick between them and paiN. 2-round lead as we round out map number 1, and it doesn't look like there's that much money on the T side, but they are going to surmise a buy, maybe. Maybe just a couple of AKs.
Maybe just the one.
No, they're spending. So Nython's just saving for his op. That's the only thing.
All right. 3 armored Tech 9s.
This is very last second. Oh, okay.
All right.
Now, okay.
Dude, I saw him shooting the deagle towards ramp, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's going to use the Tech 9, and then he'll swap to the deagle, and then they'll think there's 2 players on ramp because he uses different guns. No, it's just a tech issue.
Yeah. Why can't you hold 2 pistols, you know?
You should. I mean, why? Let's go for it.
What if you don't have a primary,
if pistols,
but you can hold 2 pistols?
If you could dual wield 2 pistols, which do you think would make the best combo?
Definitely dualies, because then you'd have 4 in 2 hands.
Shooting with my hands and my feet.
It would have to be Tech 9s, right? Like a Kimbo Tech 9s. Yeah, because I think the Tech 9. What do you think? I think the Tech 9 is the strongest pistol right now.
It's there. A part of me wants to make the 5.7 argument.
Now he's not going to come beat you up if you disagree with him.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you in the Tech 9s. Personally, you know, like
because the running and gunning.
The deagle definitely, I think, has a. I mean, it's got a higher ceiling. Okay?
Yeah,
it's got a higher ceiling. The deagle is the most powerful. If I'm, maybe Nico, but overall, all around, Tech 9 top of the list.
Yeah. No, I mean, you don't have to be good to get a kill with a Tech 9. Never feel good about your Tech 9 clips. No one wants to see those.
I feel like you've also
got
got
to win you games.
You got to put P250 top 3.
It's insane. $300.
It's also got that little it's stylish to get P250 kills.
It's cool, yeah.
You get a Tech 9 kill, like you said, you should feel a little bad about it.
You kind of feel ashamed, yeah.
P250, you can be proud.
Yeah, that's agreed.
Suave pistol play. So in the end, the only addition we see to the buy compared to what we had before the Tech was there's a Mac 10 now for hardzao.
Okay.
So 1 less Tech 9, 1 more Mac 10.
About the same idea then. and they're going to try to come through with this contact as well. The nade is decent, but they let the tees out.
DGT's blind.
Oh,
NEKIZ
the tees
gets
are
past.
very out right now.
NEKIZ will recover nothing. It's just DGT clawing down the two. Very slow to try and deal with it. Rock down off of the bench, but still a little bit of a recovery. biguzera's got a gun, and so will PGL, but Max's has the flank. The bomb plant at the very least, but just barely. Max times that very nicely. They don't know where PKL's got knocked to. Oh, doesn't matter. David with the drive-by swings at PKL's head and keeps 3 up for NEKIZ as they lead by 3 as well.
Almost positive that as they were trying to defenestrate into the site, they got caught in the windowsill because 2 players were roaming around for like 3-4 seconds. BCT should be getting shot from the side right now, but they're just in that smoke. Lucan! Big man Lucan with the shot. I think they just couldn't get out.
Something went awry. Main top mid. Good.
Uh-oh.
NEKIZ. They win a CT round, and the economy of paiN just has not been there.
Yeah.
Not enough to sustain it. So that 9 round spree on T side, 10 rounds total, really starting to rear its head, unfortunately for paiN. But we have a big moment here from hardzao.
Oh my God! And they're going to have confirmation bias that the CT
moment.
going into window. Oh my God, he's going to beat them. Wait, are they going to spot this? They are.
Oh.
Just in case a timing was called.
Yep. Good awareness.
Well done with the communication from NEKIZ.
And if something was coming from the B apartments in that second, then maybe the bench player is too preoccupied to go for the check. But there is still that little bit of disconnect.
That's why sometimes when a play like that is happening, you have to keep the pressure on just lightly.
Yes.
Otherwise, people are going to start thinking. If you don't keep them distracted, then they're going to start thinking about other problems. It's psychological, man.
Max gets it. The second is also there. And NITHON duked out by Lucan. 5 alive for NEKIZ. 13th round on the scoreboard. And money finally back in the... Ooh, hold on. Not everybody, though.
They can, but yeah, they're...
Yeah, we got Galil's on the field.
It's not awesome. It's not awesome. It could be more awesome.
Tac pause with it, though, so it'll be pieced together. They need to create that bigger picture.
Not the most awesome buy. It's not the last chance, but this is the round that feels like the last chance.
Yep. This check from DGT.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I mean, you gotta pick the rounds to play window, because keeping that grade open is a huge boon to your rotations on CT side. And honestly, these days, you know, it's hard to get tons of value out of playing window. You don't always need it. I mean, you can get the ladder room other ways. People aren't always going to swing on you in those late round situations.
Good nade. That'll help. Especially in the gun round. But NITHON still, despite being damaged by the utility, will take down DGT. There is this push from biguzera. David's down beneath him, sprays wildly for the second and won't connect it. Lucan comes hunting. Frag over the top. Now this lurk from NEKIZ. This could be huge, but it gets hard checked. Won't matter. Dropped op shot. NEKIZ reapplying pressure, smoking off Max. He wins the spray fight through the smoke and puts the number advantage on the board for paiN. But they don't know where Rox is coming in from.
Yeah, did they hear him though?
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
NEKIZ right there.
He does have his smoke that he's watching, so yeah, I think they may have. But he was, because he was watching the smoke, he's like, just in case, I can just hold this side of it. Damn, Lucan missed. Can I just say?
Lucan missed?
Lucan missed. He had that op at the top of connector. There was one guy there. He had the audio cue, peeked, and didn't hit him.
Clean one from NEKIZ.
That's the one too. The guy who gets 2 more kills. Oof, nothing feels worse than that.
NEKIZ will have head held high coming out of that one. making sure 9Z can't run away with it. Like you said, it wasn't their last chance, but the pressure was still on that one.
But now it's no more AKs, op and play. Oh, is he gonna get peeked?
Gonna take that. Rocks.
Wow, I'm actually shocked that Rocks took the duel that way.
That'll cost them man advantage in the hands of paiN.
That was kind of an opportunity that if someone was there, they're gonna sit on your nades. So that position weakens here for 9Z. Look into new avenues. Late round into window. T out mid. PGL gets caught crossing up. Now, that's not a clue as to where they'll end. But it looks like they're on the right track in terms of figuring this out. Still spreading evenly across the site, so they clearly don't have enough information to make a committed rotation. And right now, there's no one in CT spawn. So this means if paiN are vigilant, they can get themselves a plant potentially. NEKIZ just slowly re-aggresses from the same position that we saw him in last time.
It was so impactful as well. And this time, David doesn't even need to be taken off the stairs.
Oh, now he can just utility. He can just smoke the opera out, and that's it. They've established across the site. That was the pain point.
Maybe DGT throws a wrench in the works, but it's being held.
Ooh, nice
missed. Op shot could have given him a chance, but it's such a narrow gap that he has to work with.
That was it.
The save is called. Without that stairs player, the A site crumbles.
Yeah. And that whole area, that whole L of area, right in front of the stairs at the top of connector, all the way around through jungle. These are parts of the map for the CG side that are incredibly hard to take care of your teammates in. You know, you kind of have to rely on them to work for themselves. And if you double up, you're usually close together. You can't really, crossfire that easily from these spots. Like, let's say you have someone on ticket, that's obviously a nice angle to a connector. But if in that situation you don't have someone in palace or you don't have someone in ramp, then you can't stand on ticket. So now you need 3 CTs in the A site just to defend the one guy. So most of the time you see a really strong rifler floating at the top of connector, around the stairs area, in through window, catching those kinds of players. But other than that, there's no one that can help them. And a couple of times now, paiN have kind of identified that they are playing in these positions and have gotten those kills.
Buys have been consistent though from 9Z.
Also, maybe quite risky to peek top stairs as well. I don't know if the flash was...
Whoa, 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 fast B.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have bomb with them, so it's just vying for a little control here, but maybe they sniff out a weakness in Rocks. He is 8 and 18. He was isolated last round, decided to jump up and duel to his death. But I doubt he makes that same mistake. Smokes it off instead, and that'll turn paiN back the other way without a man advantage.
They're still playing late off cat.
Bad run boost.
Yeah, very bad. And the double up from the CTs to the top connector. They followed him in. They feel very good about just getting that kill for free. Whoa, this floating.
What?
Oh, man, that's really
What?
crazy. Max, I guess, was going to go back to A ramp. Did they need to make that adjustment was the question. But David, can he pick up the pieces?
Yes, he can. At least 2 of them, that is. He's got another player coming back around the ticket. DGT looks to pinch this, but now he'll be smoked off. Lucan's off drops bomb. It's hardzao in with the clutch attempt. The push through jungle. Oh, it's so a little sketchy, but it gets him off the bomb, and it gets the job done. Or at least one step closer to finishing off Mirage.
Damn. They had layers to that at least. I mean, Max...
He's going to be beating himself up. Like, if that round doesn't go their way...
If they don't win, that sucks. I mean, we don't know where he was going. Maybe he was going to go under Balk. Maybe he was going to go towards the A ramp. That spot right in front of the stairs is open to Connector, is open to Palace, and A ramp all at the same time. So that's why it didn't look right, and obviously was dangerous for that reason. On top of the fact that these last 2 rounds, again, paiN have just been going back to what works, taking over underpass, getting up into connector late. So really, it seemed like they were scared of that, but apparently not so much. moment of timing where, of course, if Max gets around stairs, he is safe.
And let's see it how it is. Mistakes on both sides as well. That failed run boost in middle made the Opper's job in connector infinitely easier.
That actually allowed Max to be killed without it being that big of a deal. Yeah.
They take their final timeout of Mirage, and we'll come into this one with the single Galil, no double. A classic. This time the run boost goes a little better, and there is no op to stop it. Palace presence. I feel like Palace, and just in general, whenever there's a this concentrated effort from Ramp and Palace to come into the A site, that's where paiN have been able to really succeed on these A plays. Last round there was none of that. All in from con and mid.
I like these contact explodes that they've tried to pull off, and they have spent the beginning portion of this round making it seem like they're doing the exact same thing. But we can see from the minimap that's not the case. Max will once again have pressure put on him from this spot, and they are starting to run out, but oh, Max and David combining for 2.
That's a great start. NEKIZ on the brink of that 15th round win. Bomb will escape, but we've also got a player now just beneath this vent. DGT and NEKIZ, they're going to come face to face, or rather face to back. NEKIZ has no chance as Lucan locks down Cat. PGL 1v4. He was last spotted in Palace with Bomb. Hence the 3-player lean from NEKIZ. This is looking like a solid 15th. There was just 2 clean kills that happened the moment those Palace players came out. There wasn't really like, any big opening that triggered that push. It was just paiN the contact explode.
Yeah.
And as opposed to trading efficiently or even getting man advantage, they just dropped 2 flies instantly.
It's the gambit you accept. The upside is you don't get counter-naded. The downside is you don't really have that much nade support. So with those lines open, you have to take your duels. And if you're on a lucky day, Max is looking the other way, CT guy's about to throw out a nade, or he's watching a ramp, and then you get the kills, and it's a domino. You get one guy on the site, the other guy's way more vulnerable than he was with a teammate alive. But in this situation, NEKIZ were quite careful, quite aware, and both hit some great shots. So that's why they hold strong.
Taking the lead shave of 1. Max committing to that spray down as if he had to kill them all himself.
Yeah. Mad Max.
Mad Max. Another run boost. The consistency in this mid control. We've got 4 map points on NEKIZ's map pick. He's thrown into the fire, so PK will be on 76 before any gunfight even unfolds. Incendiary deep into the apartments. Screws with the initial positioning. And remember, we're not talking all rifles. Nice wallbang from Rocks. Sometimes it's just the quality of your kills.
Yes.
That's just such a momentary side.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. You poke the bear.
I actually was going to say he's not jump spotting in the safest way possible.
And then
he gets popped.
hardzao. As paiN will play with hearts out. They come up the catwalk. That 1 AK, right? PGL, he's got to be so essential to this play. We already talked about how the cap split into the B site not always made that easy. Well, I feel for Nithon just playing with the Desert Eagle could come down to the timing. Lucan, eyes up, but the smoke. Oh, he didn't wait. hardzao just runs right into the sniper. That's going to make things way easier. Lucan comes out wide. 2 kills on the moment. PGL, he's trying to find his chance to come through with this AK, but nobody's facing him. So biguzera takes things into his own hands. 20 seconds. PGL peeks, drops the off, sees the next fight, and Max is going to end that one. Now biguzera with 2 deagle kills he needs another double. The peek from the short side, that's where it's ended. NEKIZ will take their map pick and find themselves a single map away from the Antwerp Major.
That was such a fantastic map of Counter-Strike to watch, and you could see that NEKIZ were good on both sides. In the first half, they looked so much better. paiN was able to catch up, but still NEKIZ.